everybody into the Smith-Lara conference call. I will now turn it over to your host, Kelly Swanson.
Hey, thank you, operator. Thanks, everybody, for calling in. I was going to turn over for the introductions to Leonard Ellerby. Unfortunately, he is a little delayed calling into the phone due to a flight. He's actually landing in another location. So we're going to go ahead and get started, though, because we don't want to keep you guys waiting, and Leonard will join us as soon as he lands. Okay, we're on the call today to talk about Lone Star Battle. Is Arislandi Lara versus Ishe Smith. What a matchup, man. This is for the Super Welterweight World Championship, the WBA Super Welterweight World title, 12-round bout. It's promoted by Showtime Championship Boxing. It's a special edition at 10:15, and it's promoted by Mayweather Promotions. It takes place Friday, December 12th at Illusion Theater at the Aladome in San Antonio, Texas. There are two other matchups on the show. The bout will be Chris Pearson versus Steve Martinez, and Badu Jack also showing on Showtime, but his opponent is soon to be announced. The promotion is sponsored by Corona Extra. There's tickets still available, starting at $25 all the way up to $100, available on Ticketmaster. Before we get into the fighters, I'd like to now introduce you to Chris de Blasio, who will make a quick statement about Showtime and for Showtime. Chris?
Thank you, Kelly. Just real briefly, we'll let you guys get to the fighters right away, but just wanted to thank Arislandi Lara, Ishe Smith, and everyone at Mayweather Promotions for setting this event up. Looking forward to getting back to live boxing presentation on Showtime. Friday, December 12th, this event from San Antonio will kick off 3 already announced live shows and a probable 4th live show across those 2 weekends. Friday, December 12th, you know the card we're talking about. Of course, Saturday, December 13th from Las Vegas, Amir Khan, Devin Alexander, Keith Thurman versus Leonard Bundu. 2 other fights on that Showtime Championship Boxing event. Should be a great one from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. And then the following week from the Pepsi Coliseum in Quebec City, Adonis Stevenson versus Dmitry Suhatsky, and a great rematch of welterweights in Jojo Dan versus Kevin Bizier. 2 other fights on that card as well. So we've got a lot of live boxing coming, and it's been a little bit of a long time coming. So we're excited to get back to it. And we hope you, the press, are excited and looking forward to it. Without further ado, let's go back and get right into this great fight card from San Antonio. Thanks, Kelly.
Okay, great. Thanks, Chris. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and introduce the fighters and their trainers. 2 of the best trainers in boxing matching up with 2 of the best fighters in boxing. Certainly in the super welterweight division. First, we have Ishe Sugar Shea Smith. He's 26-6 with 6 knockouts from Las Vegas, Nevada. He's the former IBF Junior Middleweight World Champion. And on the 12th, he's going to go ahead and look to capture his 2nd World Championship in less than 2 years when he faces Arislandi Lara. I am going to introduce Ishe and his trainer, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. So, Ishe, if you'd like to make opening comments, and then Eddie, you can complement his comments. Ishe?
Oh, nothing. Just want to thank Mayweather Promotions and Floyd Mayweather for putting me back on this stage, for getting back on this stage, and just another fight to add to my legacy. I'm grateful to be here, and just blessings all the way around. This has been a great camp. I'm just happy to be back on this stage. Thanks for Showtime.
Thank you, Ishe.
Well.
Go ahead, Mustafa.
Yeah, we are in great condition mentally and physically. And that's all we need to be in. We're about ready.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and introduce Arislandi, and his trainer, Ronnie Shields, and Louis DeCubis will be helping along by for the translation of Arislandi. Arislandi, the American Dream Lara, 19-2-2 with 12 knockouts, originally from Cuba, now fighting out of Houston, Texas. Love that ring name. He's the current WBA Super Welterweight champion. He's a graduate of the renowned Cuban amateur boxing program. He was secured wins over the likes of respective fighters Austin Trout and Alfredo Angulo. Very competitive fighter. He'll be looking to avenge a hard-fought loss after going the distance with Canelo Alvarez in July 2014 when he faces Ishe Smith. So without further ado, let's hear from Iris Landy and his trainer, Ronnie Shields.
Una palabra ahí para la prensa, para la gente aquí. He wants to thank everybody here on the call for being present. First off, he'd like to thank God, and you know, he's ready to go. He's here with his team. His team's great, and he'd like to thank his team, obviously Al Heyman and the rest of his team for putting this together, and ready to go. Not much to talk about.
Okay, Ronnie Shields?
Yes, it's a pleasure to be here with everybody. We're looking forward to a great event in San Antonio. Arislanda is in great shape, ready to go, and ready to defend the title.
Okay, thanks so much, Ronnie. I have to say that both of these fighters are really great family men, and I appreciate that too. They're always posting beautiful pictures of their wife and children on their Instagram, which I follow. So thank you very much. All right, let's go ahead and open it up to the press for questions. Operator, go ahead.
If you would like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Once again, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Our first question is from Lem Satterfield, Ring Magazine.
Hey guys, how you doing? I guess my first question will be for Ishe. It's the same question for both, but dealing with different situations. Ishe, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, Ishe, obviously your career has been one that is, inspirational with what you've overcome. What would you say was the most difficult aspect of your career to overcome in terms of adversity? And then also, how important was it for you to come back from the Molina fight with a knockout to get into this one?
Well, I think the hardest thing that I had to overcome was probably obviously the point of my life where I was on the brink of suicide, and I was dealing with the divorce, and couldn't get no fights and couldn't make no money. And then, right after that, being able to hook up with Floyd and having that strong support system in my current family, my girlfriend right now, Valerie, and my family. And I think it was just very important to, get the win. We was training to, for Lara then, but, things happen in boxing, which I understood. I never went to the press and, argued that he pulled out. The opportunities came for him to be on a bigger stage, make more money. So I understood that aspect, and it's just God willing, we're back here at this stage and meeting now. So the good things come to those who wait. He did what he had to do, and that's that.
Okay, real quickly, what year? How long was that stretch where you really felt like things were over for you, and then how'd you come up?
It was probably a good year to 6, a good year, I'd say, because I didn't fight for before I fought in May. I think May of 2012. I had fought for like 18 months, and Floyd had heard my story, and in the gym I was helping him get ready for Cotto, and he just felt like boxing hadn't given me a fair shake. And he felt that I was a good fighter and that I could become champion. And he was like, I'm going to give you your opportunity. I'm going to get you to the doorstep, and what you do once you go in is up to you. And I still remember those talks that we had during that camp. And like I said, it's just a blessing that I'm here today.
Consider this a make or break fight for you, given all that you've been through and what he's bringing to you?
No, because in life, you're gonna come up to the plate. You're gonna be sitting on the fastball. You may get put on a curve, a slider, or a changeup. You may strike out. But in life, you go back to the dugout, you know, you realize what you did wrong, and you know you got another at bat. And it's about what you do when you get back up to the plate. Life isn't over, you know. I never put myself in make or break fights. You know, who would have thought, you know, when I lost to Melina last September, I would be back on this stage a little bit over a year later. So, you know, I never say no fight is a make or break fight for me. You want to go out and perform, but, you know, as an athlete, you always just want to come up to the plate and do your best when you get there. And that's what I've done, and I've tried to maintain every time out.
Thanks a lot, Ishe. Is Landy?
Yes.
Okay. Same thing with him. I mean, he, you know, obviously had that really frustrating fight with Paul Williams, starting with that, and then, you know, the fight with Martirosyan, which was a draw, and obviously this last fight, which he was looking for all along, and then, you know, to fall short after such a tremendous victory over Trout. Can you ask him to address those ups and downs in his career?
Pero hablar un poco sobre la pelea de Williams, hoy era frustrante que te robaron esa pelea. Entonces con Van estaba ganando y era un empate. Y ahora la pelea con Canelo, pasaste eso que gente dice que perdiste, que tú crees de esta pelea y cómo te ha pasado la carrera.
No, ya, eso se quedó en el pasado, eso es lo que hicieron ya, todo el mundo sabe la pelea como fue, no, tremenda falta de respeto en la otra pelea que los jueces decidieron así, pero bueno, ya eso se quedó en el pasado y a partir de ahora que vale, empezar el año bien.
Yeah. He says, you know, those fights are in the past. I think everybody who watched the fight, the press, the fans, everyone saw that I won those 3 fights. Everyone knows it. And right now I'm not worried about that. That's the past. And now I got to look to the future and know that I got Ishe Smith in front of me. So that's what I'm worried about, and that's where our main focus is at.
One more thing about that, though, in the last fight, is there anything about that fight he would change? Because many of us, you know, thought that either he won or was very, very close to winning if he hadn't maybe stepped off the gas just a little bit rounds against Alvarez.
Él dice, si tú podías cambiar algo de la última pelea, tú lo cambiaras, porque mucha gente tenían ganando y mucha gente te pensaron que lo aceptaste algo un poco, al final no quitaste el pie de la gasolina un poco.
No, la pelea de Canelo fue bien, yo me había dado todos los rounds. Y hice todo lo posible para ganar la pelea y ¿entiendes? Creo que yo me merecía estar ahí pues.
Yeah, he says, well, you know what, he's not one of those guys that says I would have done this or would have done that. I did what I did. I won the fight. I feel like I dominated him and the rounds that I did. I thought I won the fight, and in boxing, if you win, you win. There's no reason because you're not the star, you have to win by 10 rounds to 2. If you win 7 rounds, you win 8 rounds, you win the fight. And there's no question, I think, and a lot of other people feel, as well as Showtime, that I won over 7 rounds.
A last question for you is this fight, how critical is it not only to win this fight, but to do so convincingly, given that you've had those 3 experiences where, especially in the Paul Williams fight, where most of us thought you dominated and you still didn't get it? How critical is it to look really good at the fight?
Sí, bien crucial a lucir bien en esta pelea y ganar limpio y ganar bien. Obvio que te han hecho muchas cosas los jueces en el pasado. Sí, es súper importante y crucial para ti ganar esta pelea.
Es importante ganar la pelea de cualquier forma que sea, pero es importante ganar el resultado para ir cerrando tranquilo y con una victoria.
He says every fight's important. You know, it doesn't matter how you win. Winning is winning, any which way form you do it. And the main focus is go out there and win this fight and stay undefeated.
Thanks a lot, guys, and good luck in the fight, Erslandi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next question comes from Steve Karp with Las Vegas Review.
Good afternoon, everybody. I've got one question for each person, so Kelly, bear with me. Let's start, Ishe.
No problem.
Ishe, when you and I talked 2 weeks ago, you felt your training for this fight even exceeded your expectations. Is there anything since we talked that leads you to believe that you're even sharper than you were 2 weeks ago?
I I think so. You know, we got some great, we had great sparring. And, you know, we started off camp with some hungry amateurs that Don and Pat Berry sent over from their gym, and then you know we added Willie Monroe, who is getting ready to fight Brian Vera in January for the NABF title, and who's who I think is going to be a future world champion. You know, we got this young kid from Detroit, 7-0. You know, who I think got a bright future. So we definitely added the necessary pieces, and you know, we're just looking to go out there and put together a great fight. And these guys have been pushing me and pushing me and pushing me. This has been one of the best camps I've had, one of the most expensive camps I've had, but it's been one of the better camps I've had. And definitely 2 weeks ago, I didn't think it can get better, but it definitely has.
Okay. Eddie, are you there?
I'm right here.
General, you had a game plan for Lara before the fight got postponed. How much of that game plan is being implemented for this, given what he did against Canelo?
Well, you know, a lot of it is implemented on not just Canelo. I mean, it's implemented on all the fights that I've seen him guys go against. So, you know, listen, it's going to be a very competitive fight. Mm-hmm. We coming to do one thing, is to lead with the championship. Mm-hmm. You know, we respect his Larry, and respect his people. But now it's time to fight. All the hard work is over with, and like I said, it's time to fight.
Mm-hmm. Well, what will be the key for Ishe to control this fight? Is it just his defense? Is it going to be his ability to take a punch? Is it going to be his jab? What will be the key for him to stay in this fight and have a chance to win?
Well, the name of the game is I hit you, but you don't hit me. We're not in it to take punches.
Right.
We're in it to give punches. Mm-hmm. And like I said, Ishe is in the best shape possible he can get in. And we've been working hard. We have another week to go. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we're going to come back with that belt.
Great. Very good. Arislandi, how are you? You would prepare for Ishe Smith before you got the Canelo fight. Is there anything in your prep for this fight that you kept around? In other words, did you, Louis, just ask him if he retained any of the prep with Ronnie for Ishe this time that he had before the fight got postponed?
Se está preparando para Ishe Smith ante la pelea Canelo. La pregunta es si te quedaste con cosas que hiciste en ese campamento en preparación para Ishe Smith, si te quedaste con esas cosas o qué es.
Claro, empezamos a trabajar de nuevo con la Ishe mía a los ajustes de él y qué estamos hablando.
Yeah, he says, well, yeah, we definitely we went back to some of the things we were working on before we jumped in the Canelo camp on Ishe Smith, and just adjust a few things that we feel are going to work versus him, and that's pretty much it. You know, it's the same camp for everybody.
Yeah, and for Ronnie Shields, Ronnie,
yes.
How much sharper is Lara since, you know, his great performance against Canelo? You thought he was going to be in good shape to take Ishe on before he got the Canelo fight. Given what he did against Canelo, how confident are you that this fight has become easier for him, for Lara?
Well, you know, I don't think we go in thinking that the fight is going to be easy, because, you know, Ishe is a good fighter. Mm-hmm. So, and we've realized how competitive of a fight is going to be. So, you know, as always, we train hard all the time. Each fight is a championship fight for us. So we go in with the mentality that, hey, we got to keep the title. So,
what's the biggest challenge that Ishe presents for Lara in your mind?
Well, you know, Ishe is a very smart fighter. He's been around. He's fought everybody. I mean, you know, look at all the guys. Look at his record. Mm-hmm. And you see all the guys he fought. So, you know, obviously, you know, he's a great fighter. So, you know, there's a lot of things that we see, though, that we feel we can take advantage of. And you know, and that's what things that we'll be working on. And, you know, Lara's in great shape like always. And, you know, he's ready to go on Friday night.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks, Kelly.
Okay, no problem, Steve.
The next question comes from Joseph Haran with Fight Saga.
This first question is for Landy and Ronnie. Hey, Ronnie, how's it going, brother?
Great.
Well, big fight coming up. Obviously, you know, I really appreciate the amount of respect that you actually have for Ishe and, of course, the incomparable Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. You understand what strengths they bring actually to the table, what a tough, awkward fighter he is. And so, obviously, you've been game planning for that, but have you had any trouble getting your man, Landy, up for this fight mentally, emotionally, after being on the biggest platform of boxing, Showtime pay-per-view?
Not at all. You know, Lara is the kind of guy that when he comes to the gym every day, he comes with a mentality that, you know, he has to work as hard as he can. And this is something that he's always done since I've been training him. You know, he works really hard every day, and every fight is a championship fight. Maybe because, you know, he's coming over from Cuba, and, you know, he realizes he wants to be the American dream. So this is his dream, and he realizes in order to fulfill that dream, he has to work hard. So every day, every fight is a championship fight for him, whether it's for his title or not. And he feels great. He's looking great in the gym. And I think on December the 12th, everybody's going to see all the hard work that he's put in.
Ronnie, do you feel that because there's so much talent in the 140, 54-pound weight division, do you feel that Landy is undoubtedly the most talented fighter at 154?
There's no question about it. You know, he just brings so much. He brings so much to the table. Everybody wants to fight him because just for the simple reason that they want to fight the best guy. So this is why everybody lines up to fight him. You know, before, you know, people was avoiding him, but they realized one thing: in the sport of boxing, in order to make money, you have to fight the best.
Yeah, and obviously you have so much talent, and you've got two other fighters who are going to be fighting the next day in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand. Have you guys been sparring and working together? And how has it been? Possibly, have the twins been able to? I'm assuming you've been sparring with the twins. Have they been able to replicate, or have you used anyone who's been able to replicate somewhat of the awkward movement and the craft of Ishe Smith?
Well, you know, Lara has been sparring with both twins along with others. But, you know, look, I don't believe in trying to replicate any other fighter because it just can't happen. You know, nobody is going to be exactly like the fighter you're going to fight. So, you know, I just don't believe in that. Never have, never will. So, you know, but yes, both twins have been sparring with Lara, and we've been sparring with others also. But the most important thing is that we put a great game plan together. Lara's going to stick to it, and he's going to be victorious on December the 12th.
Very good. Thank you, Ronnie. If I could, I have one more question for Ishe Smith and Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, if that's okay. Sure. Eddie, it's a pleasure to speak with you, sir. How has it been working with Ishe into probably the biggest fight of his career?
Oh, it's been a pleasure as always. What are we doing is, you know, we're picking up new things. I'm showing him how to fight a southpaw because when I was world champion, I fought 5 southpaws. So I happened to knock all 5 out. I'm just showing him how to do it. That's all. We're working hard.
And obviously you're in Vegas. You've got such great sparring there. Who have you been working with to actually prepare you and try to possibly emulate Landy in the ring?
Well, really, listen, we just have southpaw. There's nobody that can emulate anybody. Because at any given day, the fighter can change. So we're not emulating. We just do what we got to do to be a practice southpaw.
Very good. Thank you, gentlemen.
The next question comes from the line of Ignacio Zuniga with True Boxing Head.
Yes, my question is for both fighters. Leading up to the first fight before the fight was rescheduled, there was a lot of bad blood between both Lara and Smith. Ishe, why has that not been the case?
Well, this is boxing. You gotta sell a fight. Nobody goes into the fight hating somebody. Nobody goes to see somebody in the street and want to fight them, or see somebody at a fight or a press conference and want to get in a street fight. You have to sell a fight. You have to hype a fight, and the fight's done. I mean, the fight pretty much sold itself the first time, and then when it got rescheduled, just selling itself this time. San Antonio has a great fan base. They have some wonderful fans out there, and all the hard work, all the footwork was done by Showtime and Mayweather Promotions. And as fighters, we just go in there and fight. I mean, the trash talk and all that stuff was good to sell the fight the first time, but I pretty much think it sold itself this time.
Well, good luck to you on Friday. Also, for Lara, I asked him the same question, Luis. Why not as much bad blood this time out?
Dice que entrando a la pelea la primera vez está un poco mala sangre entre tú y él y para atrás y para adelante. Ahora entrando a esta pelea no está hablando mucho él y obvio tú estás haciendo tu trabajo. ¿Tú crees razón para eso o qué tú crees?
Ya la razón que hay es pelear. Ya la cosa, la vez pasada no se da la oportunidad, ahora se da la oportunidad de pelear y hay que hacerlo. Hay que hablar más, lo que hay que subir, ahora solo.
He said the bad blood was put on ink on the contract. Ain't no need to talk. There's nothing else really to do. We'll week out and do our talking in the ring. Obviously you want to sell fights. You want to do what you can to promote as much as you can. But at this point, I feel I'm one of the top fighters in the world, and now it's time to just keep proving why I'm undefeated and why I'm the best 54-pounder in the world.
Nice. Saludos, Lara. Muchas gracias.
Saludos.
Thanks.
Gracias.
Thank you.
The next question comes from Salvador Rodriguez with ESPN.
Hi everyone, esta pregunta es para Erislandy Lara. Erislandy, saludos. ¿Qué es lo que ganas peleando con un peleador como Ishe Smith? ¿Y hacia dónde pudiera apuntar el 2015 para ti en caso de salir victorioso?
Que lo que gano, una victoria más y terminar el año con una victoria, salir victorioso y apuntando al mejor, al dueño del promotor de él, a Floyd. Lo que queremos el año que viene, si Dios quiere, vamos a ver qué pasa.
What does Lara have to gain by beating a fighter like Ishe Smith, and what does he look forward to 2015? And Lara's response was, just main focus on beating Ishe Smith, who's a solid contender, and handling business. And then 2015 is, we want to go after his boss. Floyd Mayweather, that's the fight that we want.
¿Por qué, por último, por qué crees que tu nombre no se menciona entre las peleas, quizá que está buscando todo el mundo, entre Golovkin, Cotto, de nuevo Canelo, Mayweather, Pacquiao? ¿Por qué tu nombre no aparece en esa lista de peleas atractivas? ¿Porque te están evadiendo o porque te hace falta algo a ti? ¿Qué es lo que crees tú?
No sé, a lo mejor lo que falta, un sabor difícil y creo que más por el hecho de ser cubano, creo, ¿no? Pero bueno, hay que seguir trabajando, ellos van a tener que mencionarme ahí.
So why isn't Lara mentioned, with the top fighters in the world like Canelo, Pacquiao, Mayweather, and fighting them, and Cotto? And Lara says, basically says, I think it has a lot to do with just me being a very difficult style for any fighter, and part could be because I come from Cuban descent, but I just got to keep doing my job and winning, and they got to fight at the end of the day when it comes down to it.
Por último, ¿qué es lo que tiene Ishe Smith de más peligroso? ¿Qué es lo que tiene él en la mesa para ti?
No sé, yo no le he visto pelear nunca, ni sé cómo pelea.
What does he see dangerous out of Ishe Smith, and what do you think his most dangerous trait is? He says he really doesn't know. He hasn't watched no videos, never watched him fight. He's not worried about what he does, but he knows for sure one thing, that Ishe knows what he does well, so he just focused on the fight.
Perfecto, muchas gracias. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
The next question comes from John Whistler, San Antonio Express.
I have a question for Ishe and Erislandy. Ishe, were you surprised when the fight landed in San Antonio, or do you really care one way or the other?
I didn't care one way or the other. I mean, I was out there when Canelo fought Trout, and the fight fans were great. They showed me a lot of love and a lot of respect. So, you know, it's the most neutral playing field it could be. Like I said, San Antonio has some great fight fans, and I'm looking forward to fight out there and putting that on my bucket list as a place that I fought as a pro. So I'm excited. It would have been nice to be at home, but understand, you know, the circumstances, the champ, and all that, going to get his belt. So I'm excited to be fighting in San Antonio.
Okay, good. Erislandy, have you been to San Antonio, and what do you think about fighting here?
Si tú has ido a San Antonio, ¿y qué tú sientes de pelear ahí en San Antonio?
Me siento bien porque San Antonio me merece hacer y ya estoy muy orgulloso de pelear en San Antonio. He estado una cuantas veces en San Antonio y me gusta el pueblo y siempre da todo ahí.
He says, you know, San Antonio is a beautiful place. He goes there a lot with the family. He considers it home because, you know, it's part of Texas. He lives in Houston. And he says it's a beautiful place. Got great fight fans. He was also there for the press conference in Canelo. And you know, a lot of Latin fans, where they support him out there. So he's very excited to be fighting in San Antonio, which you can basically call home for him.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next question is from Deidre LeBouf with Bad Culture.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. My first question is for Erislandy Lara. Being in the past that you've been on the wrong side of some questionable decisions with Martirosyan, with Canelo, with Paul Williams, you are physically ready and you keep yourself up for these fights. How do you cope with the mental aspect of possibly being on the wrong side of a decision again?
Yo creo que tú estabas muchas malas decisiones en tu carrera, tú has ganado todas las peleas que te tenían pidiendo. ¿Cómo mentalmente tú te quedas enfocado en seguir siendo el trabajo y ganando y no preocupado que te van a robar otra pelea?
Enfocado y trabajando duro, este deporte es así. Estoy enfocado, trabajando duro, lo más importante y hay que ir para adelante.
He says, well, the main thing is just stay focused, you know, stay focused, work hard. I can't dictate or judge for the judges. I just got to focus on what I do best, and that's win fights. So I think that's why I'm still in the position I'm in and why I'm regarded as the best in the division, because regardless of what some of the outcomes have been on the judges' scorecards, you know, a lot of people know the outcome and the truth.
And the same kind of question for Ronnie. You know your fighter is going to show up in shape, focused, and ready to perform. How do you keep motivating the mental aspect for him to get in the ring and give it all when he's done that every time and been on the other side of the decision?
Well, because, you know, all the fans, the fans is what keeps them going. You know, everybody always come up and tell me, hey, man, they stole it, you won this fight, and keep your head up and just keep working. And you know, and that's the fans know. You know, you can't fool the fans. The fans are who they are, and they are the most important people in the sport of boxing because they pay to watch. And this is why Lara is going to always be on top because, you know, look, if we sit back and wait and let a judge dictate how his career is going to go, then we're in very sad shape. So we don't do that. We just keep on focusing on what's ahead, who's in front of us. And hey, you know, the judges may spin it, but the fans always know who that he won.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. I have a question for Ishe. As you head into this fight, you know, after your last foray to the ring and discussion in social media and a lot of commentary in the public about your performance in this fight, do you feel like you've had to add some extra components to your training to look dazzling in the ring?
Yes. I don't listen to what people say on social media and what they have to say I go out and I execute whatever game plans the team puts forth. If I listen to what people have to say on social media and other places, I would never be K9 and become the first fighter to ever win a world championship born and raised in Las Vegas.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
The next question comes from Frank Miller with Boxing Blog. Mr. Miller, your line is live. There are no further questions at this time.
Okay, I guess that's it. I guess we lost our last question. Let's see. Leonard, are you on the phone by any chance? Leonard had land, and I was hoping to get him to make final comments, but I guess he is still trying to connect. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up and not hold the press any longer. We thank you for your participation, guys. Thanks so much for participating, taking time out to be involved with this conference call, and good luck to both of you next week, and happy fighting. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.